Okay, so I'm sure that a lot of you probably know who Dennis Rader is, or as he's famously known, BTK. But I'm sure what a lot of you don't know is how he treats some of the victims, or about why he particularly did it. So today I'll inform you all about Dennis Rader, or AKA BTK. And I've been studying for a couple weeks now on this project for this speech, and I figured out a lot of new facts that I didn't even personally know myself about him. And I think it's important for everyone to care because this didn't happen very close to us, and it was not far from us at all, and he murdered all these people for these amount of years. And so today we will be talking about the history of BTK, the confessions that he confessed himself about the murders he committed, an exclusive interview about why he personally did, and an interview with his daughter. So now I will transition to the history. Dennis Rader was a serial killer who lived in Sedgwick County and murdered 10 people from the years 1974 to 1991. He's famously known as the BTK killer, which stands for bind, torture, and kill, and he himself gave himself that nickname. That's how he wanted to be known. He wanted to get his image out there. And he was born in Pittsburgh, Kansas in 1945. He served in the Air Force in the 1960s and then got married to his wife Paula in 1974. And according to the biography.com editors of 2015, they state that, quote, signs of trouble early on as he hunched stray cats as a child for fun, unquote, which that's a pretty big red flag for anyone that does that for fun. And then in the same year, 1974, he committed his first murders on the Otero family, who were Joseph, Julie, Josephine, and Joseph Jr. And the third child eventually came home to find their family members murdered. And traces of semen were actually found at that crime scene, as he had some weird sexual fantasies. That is why he enjoyed doing what he did. And after those murders, he did not stop, as he murdered Catherine Bright by strangulation, and he attempted to kill her brother also. She shot him twice, but he eventually survived. So now that I've informed you all about some of the history of BTK, I will transition into the confessions of murders. According to the YouTube video BTK Confession of 2007, he confessed the murders himself of the Oteros and calls them, in quote, his sexual fantasy. And he pled guilty to all accounts of murder and was sentenced to 10 life terms in prison, and he was caught in the year 2005. And he is still currently serving his term in El Dorado, Kansas. So now I've informed you all about some of the confessions of the murders. I will inform you all about the interview with BTK about why he did it. In an interview conducted by Harvard-trained psychologist Robert Mendoza of Dateline NBC, he states that once he set his mind on a victim, he would lie awake at night and run scenarios through his mind and how he would treat them. He would start this off by stalking his victim and going to the library and gathering more information on them, and he would pretty much know like their whole schedule, like when they leave the house, where they lived, what time they got home, who he or she was married to. And then he later goes on in the interview to blame his murder spree on a mysterious force that he claims he knows he's not well, and he knows that he has something telling him that he should be doing this. He claims that he has demons inside him, and then he, unquote, claims he was dropped on his head as a baby, and he thinks that could play a weird factor into why he was doing all of these things. So now I've informed you all about the interview as to why he believes he did it. I'll tell you all about the interview with his daughter himself. According to Roy Wenzel of the Wichita Eagle, an interview conducted by Stephen King for the movie A Good Marriage prompted him to interview his daughter, because that movie is based around a father who is a serial killer and their family does not know. She states that she has never visited her father in prison, and, quote, prison is where he belongs. And herself, her mother, and brother were not aware of who Dennis truly was until after the FBI told them after his arrest. And they did not believe it. They did not think that he would be able to keep on that act of murdering all these people for that long of time. She now lives in Michigan with two children, and BTK knows that he has grandchildren, but she states that she never wants her children to know him or ever be around him for these reasons. So now that I informed you all a little bit today about why, I informed you all about Dennis Rader, as he's famously known, BTK. Today we talked a little bit about the history of BTK, or Dennis Rader, the confessions of the murders he committed, the interview exclusively about why he did it, and the interview with his daughter himself and how she personally feels about all of it. So I hope you all learned a little bit more about Dennis Rader, or as he's known, BTK, and why I think it should be important for everyone to know, because this can happen to any other person. And yeah, thank you.